I see we got Abe on the line right now, so instead of me telling you about the article, we'll talk about it with Abe himself. Abe, thanks again for being with us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Of course, it's always a pleasure and very educational as well. Real quickly, how's the weather in Jerusalem tonight?
We've got a heat wave. Unpleasant. It was up in the high 90s today.
We've been having a little bit of a heat wave here too, but
we can empathize, yeah.
Yeah, but the thunderstorms have been kind of coming in, at least to cool things off a little bit. By the way, that's Lucas Paris, who puts us up on his Periscope that you heard there, Abe. And
hello, Mr. Katsmann.
he's in the studio with me tonight.
Excellent.
Okay. By the way, before we get into your article and the meat of things here, did you see in Iowa how Jody Ernst had that little sort of bike fest get together out there for the Republican candidates?
Yeah, I saw a little bit of footage of that. Very impressive. I like, I like the motorcycles.
Yeah, I thought you might, since you told us a few weeks ago that you ride a scooter yourself. Well, a motorcycle.
Yep.
Yeah. So you'd have fit right in, huh?
Yeah. Maybe since everyone else is declaring for president, maybe I should think about it.
Well, you got some supporters right here, I'll tell you that. That's a fact. And I tell you, you keep pumping out great articles like this, and you'd have a lot of other supporters too, Abe. Forfeiting America's military leverage. As we were coming back from the break there, I played a little bit of the old Star Trek original series TV theme song there. And the reason I played that is because, Kirk was always being accused of being sort of carrying out this cowboy diplomacy, I think Spock used to call it, and but actually practiced with a certain amount of expertise. It's quite effective. You call it gunboat diplomacy in your article, but it's basically, if you will, sort of talk softly but carry a big stick, is it not?
Yeah, that's what it is. They used to call it gunboat diplomacy back in the days when, when Britain was a great naval power, and they would park a gunboat in the harbor of whatever weak power they needed some concessions from, and the gunboat could be a very persuasive vehicle.
Indeed, it could. As a matter of fact, on Memorial Day weekend, that Sunday, I read some passages from a book written by Glenn Beck called Miracles and Massacres. And he talked about the situation with the Barbary pirates, the Muslims who were attacking the U.S. vessels as well as others in the Mediterranean Sea there in the late 1700s, early 1800s, how it vexed Thomas Jefferson, how he would send over, a small troop or one ship to try to solve the problem. Didn't work. And then I think the first instance of the United States using gunboat diplomacy was Madison. He built up a naval armada. He sent it over there along with a personal message for, I believe they called him the Pasha, who was the leader there in Tripoli, and he said, here's what's going to happen. You're either going to get your mind right and quit attacking us. You will not get any stipend from us. You will release our hostages, or we're going to level you and kill all of you in the process. Which is it going to be? And with that armada parked out there off the coast of Tripoli, it was a believable threat, Abe.
It would be nice if we had the equivalent today. Even isn't so much using gunboat diplomacy, but the problem has gone in the opposite direction. We've now got a policy that is as close to the opposite of gunboat diplomacy when it comes to military aircraft, cruise missiles, but nobody thinks that the U.S. is going to use it, especially the Iranians. And if the U.S. isn't rattling its saber a little bit, then what's the use of all that military power?
Yeah, absolutely. The threat has to have credibility, so to speak. Barack Obama drew these red lines and never stood behind them, so he proved to the world that, his threats were empty. And what you're saying is the threat has to be believable for this to work.
Yeah, the threat has to be believable, and it really hasn't been. Not that it was before, but last week Obama went on Israeli TV and said that a military solution won't fix the Iranian nuclear problem, even if the U.S. participates. He said it would only slow down the nuclear program, but it won't eliminate it. So if he's going on television and saying, in essence, that there's no point to the U.S. Involvement in an attack on Iran, he's basically taking the military option off the table. And with the military option off the table, well, there's no reason that Iran should make any concessions. They can dictate the terms of this agreement.
And as you point out in the article, that's the way the negotiations have been going on. They basically make the demands, and the United States and the other parties acquiesce.
Yeah, that's what's been happening. Oh, and also we've been paying them for that privilege. We've trying to, I guess, use no stick and all carrot. We've so far released something in the area of $11 billion in cash to Iran, and we're offering what they call a bonus of tens of billions of dollars of additional assets for Iran if they come to any kind of agreement. And that has nothing, regardless of what Iran does with the money, even if they use it as they have been for supporting terror, for supporting Hezbollah and Hamas, or even if they continue to hold, they've been holding Americans prisoner.
Yes.
And including a Washington Post correspondent.
Yeah, that's right. You mentioned him by name in your article. And it is ridiculous what's going on over there. These are hostages being held. They are not. They should be a part of the negotiations, as should be their interfering with Israel via Hamas and Hezbollah. I mean, all should be on the table, but it's not. And why should it be? Because the Iranians know that this president is there for the taking, that he's a soft touch. And but Abe, I'm up against the break. When we come back, I want to talk a little bit more about this. And as you say, it's